welcome to Libra season. Thanks for tuning in to the Embodied Astrology podcast. My name is Renee, and my readings are channeled messages based on the astrology for your sign in the season ahead. And my goal is to support you in embodying and integrating the most helpful and healing energies at this time. I'm excited to get into your Libra season reading in just a minute, but before I do, I want to ask you to stick around at the end for some information and announcements about what's upcoming at Embodied Astrology and some of the ways you can use the current influences for best benefit, especially when engaging with Libran kinds of things, like relating with yourself and others, and staying connected to your internal sense of center and balance when there might be a lot pulling or pushing at you from different sides. Okay, so stick with me at the end of this reading for those announcements. And then one more thing I want to tell you, which is that I've been taking some time off to reshape and revision some important parts of my life, which is definitely something that this time is asking a lot of us to do. These horoscopes were recorded way back in May in Gemini season, so please let me know how they land for you and what's resonating now in the comments. I do read my comments, and I love and appreciate hearing from you so much. As you tune in with this reading, keep in mind that astrology is an ancient, vast, and multidimensional technology. But sun sign horoscopes are general, and every astrologer has their own lens for interpretation. Not everything I offer will resonate for everyone, so take what works, leave the rest. Always listen to your own intuition and make the meanings that are most meaningful for you. I also want to remind you that horoscope astrology is most accurate for your rising sign. Pro tip though, check your birth chart and see if you have a late degree rising sign. There are 30 degrees to every sign, and if your rising degree is later than 25, I'd recommend also listening to the sign that follows yours. If you have a different rising and sun sign, listen for your sun sign for more information on your general energy and your rising sign for accuracy with timing, prediction, and thematic content. You can also listen to your moon and Venus placements for insight into your relationships, particularly important this season. If you enjoy my readings, make sure to check out your 2025 Year Ahead Expanded Horoscope. That's over an hour of in-depth exploration of this year's most important astrology for your sign, and those readings are discounted now, but still have so much information that is very relevant to this year and this season ahead. Okay, thank you so much for sticking with me for these announcements, and I am wishing you all the best in Libra season and beyond. So let's get into your reading. Hello Taurus, welcome to Libra season. Libra and Taurus have an interesting relationship. You're very different in a lot of ways. The traditional aspect between Libra and Taurus is what's called a quincunx or an inconjunct. Some astrologers also refer to this relationship as an aversion. They'll say that Libra and Taurus can't really see each other. There are different modalities, different elements. Taurus is fixed earth. Libra is cardinal air. They operate in really different ways. But Libra and Taurus share a planetary ruler, and that is Venus. And so one thing that we know about both of these signs is that they are both absolutely invested in and committed to beauty. And beauty is something that also really resonates with the Taurian sensibility of embodiment and nature and kind of earthly well-being, and with the Libran sensibility of justice and relationship. And so when there is quote-unquote right relationship, right, when we are engaging with others and the world, the more than human beings that we're in relationship with in ways that are caring, compassionate, respectful, and where there's reciprocity, where there's some kind of exchange that honors what everybody is giving, beauty thrives, and there is so much abundance, and that is really good for our bodies. Our bodies experience safety with beautiful places, and aesthetic is actually a really important quality of feeling grounded and balanced in our own body minds. So in the Taurus solar charts, Libra holds the place of the 6th house, and the 6th house has to do with your general environment. It also has to do with your body and with the things that your body needs all of the time, how you care for your body, how you care for the environment that you're a part of. The sixth house is a place of constant work and chores and responsibilities. It is also a place where you get information about somebody's jobs and duties, which aren't always the same as their career. So I have a career as an astrologer, but the job that I do a lot of the time, nobody really sees it. Endless admin work. And I go to bed some nights with my ephemeris, just kind of like looking over dates and make lots and lots and lots of notes. So the jobs, the duties, the responsibilities that keep your life going. And because chores are endless, this place in the chart also has a lot to do with energies of humility and humbleness, and also with the experience of failure and practice. So the dishes always need to get done, right? You can work for decades in a particular field and always have more to learn. And practicing humility is part of how we actually become masterful in our skills. So as we move into Libra season, there is a lot of emphasis for Taurus on creating a beautiful life, whatever that means for you, and staying balanced in your life and in your body and in your relationships. And this season brings also a lot of energy and activity into your opposite sign, Scorpio. So the day that Libra season begins, Mars moves into Scorpio. On the 6th of October, Mercury will follow. And by the 19th of October, Mars and Mercury will come together in a conjunction in Scorpio. And then a couple of days later, Mercury begins its pre-retrograde shadow phase that will move through the signs Sagittarius and Scorpio. So Scorpio, and I'll say Sagittarius as well in the Taurus charts, have a lot to do with relationships and the ways that you engage with commitment, with partnerships, and with relationship in general. Libra in your sixth house tells me that for you to feel effective, functional, healthy, and be able to take care of all of your responsibilities, you need to be working well with other people. Now, Taurus is an earth sign, and the earth signs aren't always talked about as social signs, but Taurus in particular is a sign that I think really understands the need for social relationships that are good ones, where people can work together and collaborate. The sign Aquarius holds the top of your chart, and this is a really important aspect of the Taurian intelligence, because in order to get the sustenance that we need for our bodies, we literally need community. We need all of the pollinators. We need all of the different players in the ecosystems. We need groups of people who can plant and harvest and process food. Staying alive cannot happen in isolation. And Taurus is concerned with life and a good life, and that means that you need other people. So Libra season is heightening your awareness right now of relationships and how relationships are working, and whether or not they are working well, or if they need to change, or how you want to be in them. On the 13th of October, Pluto is stationing direct in Aquarius. I just talked about Aquarius at the heaven of your chart. And so there's just a lot of feeling in your chart right now of you're trying to figure out how to navigate the realm of relationship so that your life can be balanced, harmonious, so that you can get your needs met, so that other people can get their needs met, so that you can have like a calm mind. And over the course of this season, I do feel that some of you are like you're working it. You're in a process, okay? It could sometimes feel intense and like there's conflict to be dealing with. It sometimes could feel fabulous and you're figuring it out. I do think that a lot of you are just like, you're in a process and you're trying to get things to work better. And that means that there's going to be a heightened awareness of what maybe isn't working so well. And, you know, when that happens, sometimes people can be dramatic about it. And it's like, none of this isn't working. Fuck it all, like I'm just going to do my own thing. I don't know if you know anybody like that. Maybe you are like that, but that could be a vibe. There's a full moon on October 6th in Libra's opposite sign, Aries, and this is the same day that Mercury enters Scorpio. So I particularly want to invite you to remember that as we get into Libra season. There's a number of things that are happening between the 22nd of September and I'm going to say October 11th that feel kind of provocative. Like it feels like Tauruses are, and I would include actually the full fixed cross here. So if you're dealing with other fixed signs, cardinal signs too, but especially the fixed cross, if things feel heightened and intense and dramatic and you're like in a thing trying to figure out how to get everybody's needs met, just know that you're right on time and this is what is meant to be happening, and try and show up for it with the most that you can give to the situation. Now, the most that you can give to the situation right now, I'm going to say, is to be really honest about your needs and your wants, but also to be receptive and compassionate with others when their needs and wants are different from yours. This is not a time to be avoidant of conflict. This is also not a time for you to compromise in ways that you know don't feel good for you. And sometimes people can do this when they're scared of conflict or when they're scared of loss or they're fearing instability or something like this. But I want to say that Taurus, it's not going to work out well for you if you agree to something that you actually don't want to agree to right now. It could be hard to be forthcoming about your wants and your needs, especially if somebody else has different wants and needs. But this is a period of time that is asking you for process, not avoidance. Give it the chance to get worked out and expect things to be kind of intense, especially around that full moon on October 6th. It does feel like a powerful one. And I will say that this is also a period of time around that full moon when I think that a lot of Taurians are pretty fucking tired. And maybe the situation that you're working with is a lot for you, and you need a little bit of a break or a timeout. I will also say that this feels like a really incredible time for you to be engaging with spiritual practice, with quiet contemplation, with meditation and personal reflection in ways that can help you with whatever process you are going through right now. And if anything can help you navigate your relationships and your life projects and the strategies that you have around getting your needs met and working skillfully with others, it is taking care of your own inner needs as much as you possibly can. So this is a period of time that may be emotionally intense for some of you, but if you can be responsible with your own feelings and give yourself time and space to process, to journal, to get therapy, to meditate, to extend grace and curiosity to your own experience and to the experiences of others, it will help you so much. So I'm pre-recording for you from June. I don't really know what's going to be happening in October, but I will say that I've pre-recorded Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and now Libra for you. And at least in Virgo and Cancer seasons, I was telling you, don't take people personally. You have to allow others to be their own people. And they might not be the kinds of people you wish they would be, right? They might want things that you wish that they wouldn't want. They might act in ways that you wish that they wouldn't act. And the same can be said for you. The relationships that will be the most stable, grounding, effective, and fruitful for you are the ones where the people involved are given space and support to actualize and really be individuated as you are also interconnected. And that means that there has to be willingness and skill with everybody involved to really like work on themselves and to take care of the disappointment that they feel when somebody doesn't want the same thing that they want, or to work with the reactivity and the charge that they feel when somebody does something and it feels a kind of way. And I don't know, maybe I've got this all wrong and you are sailing through your relational landscapes as we move into Libra season, and it's no problem. But I think some Tauruses out there, again, September 22nd through October 11th, are kind of like you're in a thing. And your internal security will help you meet the external situation more than anything else right now. So please do your meditation practices. Take time to write in your journal. Set up appointments with your therapist. Call your friends and ask to schedule times to talk so that you have allies who can just be with you in the process that you are in. And really try to practice letting go of attachment and control to other people, to what they do and don't do, say and don't say, want and don't want, etc. From the 13th of October, things lighten up a little bit, I think. Venus comes into Libra, and that brings a little bit more grace and ease. Pluto stations direct, and Mercury and Mars are coming together on the 19th, and it does feel like important conversations are happening, and clarification for you, Taurus, is also happening. And so leading up to the 13th, I think some of you are kind of like, in a process, but something does feel like it gets clarified around the 13th. And then from there, you can move forward with like something that feels a little bit more clarified. That's the word that I have for you. There may be some intense conversations that you're having as we get towards the new moon on October 21st. Mars-Mercury conjunct on the 19th can definitely bring up some intense conversations, especially for Taurus, because this is happening in your 7th house of partnership, contracts, and agreements. One thing that I haven't talked about at all, but I will say right now, is that the 6th house, where you have Libra, is the house of jobs. And so for any of you, and Aquarius, where Pluto is stationing direct on the 13th, is the place of your career. And so some of you are working things out with people who you work with, and that's where the intensity is. Maybe it's not with domestic partners or something like that. But there might be issues at work also where like you need something to change. You want something to progress. You're trying to like get a different contract or something like that. And it feels like by the end of Libra season, 19th, 20th, 21st of October, you're really ready to have these kinds of conversations, and this is a good time for them. Now, the 21st is the new moon in Libra, and this is also the day that Mercury begins its retrograde shadow. Mercury doesn't station retrograde until November 9th, but we do enter into that foreshadowing phase. Mercury's retrograde will be moving from Sagittarius back to Scorpio. For you, Taurus, these are themes that definitely have a lot to do with other people, with partnerships, with contracts, with agreements, with shared resources, money, time, attention, energy, and also with any kinds of situations that involve intimacy, trust, vulnerability, etc. And my feeling is that a lot of you are trying to get your life to work better for you in Libra season, and this could mean all kinds of things, but in a holistic kind of way. It's about getting the balance and the rhythm and the regularity that you need. And this definitely is a season to be focusing on that and working with it, and to have the willingness to come forward with what you need so that the conversations that need to happen can happen, and also to have the spaciousness and the grace in yourself when other people come to you with what they need, and a willingness to be in the process with them if you are involved with them in some way that affects you. The last thing I'm going to say about the astrology of Libra season for Taurus is that this is a period of time when I feel that a lot of you are also really compelled to lend your efforts to some kind of larger cause. Some of you may be very invested in doing reparation work or healing work or advocacy, mutual aid, solidarity, organizing, working in some way that you are of service to others. And this is a very beautiful time for that. It's a time where I feel that a lot of you are really compelled and also inspired. And the only thing that I want to say here, Taurus, is just to make sure that you are making agreements and commitments that you can sustain, and not to be overpromising, overcompensating, or taking on anything that stresses you out and you won't be able to sustain. And so sometimes smaller amounts consistently is better than big amounts just one or a few times. Okay, so let's finish this reading with a simple embodiment practice. And you probably have done this before. This is a practice that has proliferated in so many different spaces, and it's one that I draw upon all of the time to help me, especially in moments where I'm dealing with relationships or things in my life that feel, for any reason, kind of intense. So in this practice, we are going to tune in with our center. And to find our center, let's first find our opposition, our internal oppositions. So let's start with the left and the right sides. And you might just take a moment to maybe stretch out into your left and your right sides. You might want to bring awareness to your right and your left ears. Maybe some of you could even sense the right and the left hemispheres of your brain. So many paired organs in our bodies. We've got right and left lungs, right and left kidneys, right and left reproductive organs, right and left limbs. And as you tune into the left and the right, find the center between them. Find your midline. Okay, and then from your midline, reach down and up, or towards your feet and towards your head. And as you reach down and up, feel the lower half of your body and the upper half of your body. From your belly button down to your toes and up towards the top of your head. You might stretch your lower body and upper body away from one another, or try and pull them towards each other. Feeling your length and engagement of your midline in a vertical plane. And then see if you can locate the very center space, or where your upper body and lower body come together, where you feel the balance between the earthly and heavenly sides of your body, or the feet side, lower limb side, and the upper body side. Okay. And then from that space, Taurus, extend your awareness forward into the front of your body and into the space in front of you, and backwards into the space behind you and your back body. And try and feel the front body and the back body and the space between them expanding in your depth. And then find where they meet internally. And now see if you can locate the center of the center of the center. Between your front and back, left and right, up and down, there is a point in the space inside of you, and that is the place to bring your attention. Let your breath move around that center space. And then into that center space, place your intention. And you might place the intention that you have for Libra season, for any particular circumstances that you might be working with at this time, or any larger considerations. And then remember this, Taurus. Remember the center of center of center. This is a place that you can access and anchor in at any time. And throughout your life, throughout all of your circumstances that you're working with, relationships, etc., all kinds of stimulation will pull you off your center. Sometimes you might feel pulled forward or back, or you might feel yourself shrinking down towards the earth, or maybe floating away from it entirely. The left side or the right side of your body might feel more active or engaged or numb or disconnected. And especially in moments of intensity, especially in moments when you feel a little bit imbalanced, you can come back to your center and you can come back to your intention. Practice centering your awareness and centering your intention, and use this as an anchor throughout the season and for all of the time ahead of that or any other moments in your life to help you come back to your intention, help you come back to your center. All right, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. I hope any or all of this practice and reading serves you well in Libra season and beyond. Bye for now. Hello again. Thanks for sticking with me. Your attention is so valuable, and I really appreciate you giving some of it to me. If you enjoyed the reading I just gave you and you're interested in working more deeply with your chart and current astrology, I want to let you know about a few things we have coming up here at Embodied Astrology. First off, if you're interested in working more with me, I would love to see you sometime in Somatic Space. This is my weekly virtual class where we practice sensing astrology through gentle healing movement, meditation, and visualization, and working with the current astrological influences in embodied ways so that we can be internally prepared to make the most of our opportunities and work skillfully with the challenges. The live online classes are every Monday from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Pacific, but you can always catch the recording anytime throughout the week if you can't attend live. You can drop into Somatic Space whenever you want to check it out, but if you sign up for one of our monthly memberships, you'll get access to the live weekly class along with a library archive of past class recordings and twice monthly chart reading study groups, which are great spaces for learning more about how to work with your natal chart through experiential embodied practice. Our study groups are facilitated by my colleague and Embodied Astrology's community coordinator, Alicia Mauji. Alicia is also facilitating a 12-week cohort beginning on September 23rd, just 2 days into the beginning of Libra season, called At the Heart of Conflict. This is the second group of 5 12-week gatherings, which are taking place during Jupiter's transit in Cancer between June 2025 and June 2026. At Embodied Astrology, one of our primary intentions is to harness astrology to work with the needs of our times. And Jupiter's influence in Cancer is particularly well suited for exploring patterns of conflict with curiosity, care, and in community with others, which is what this series is dedicated to, and also what this Libra season's influences are definitely asking for. Then, starting on October 19th, Embodied Astrology has a very exciting opportunity, which we are so happy to extend to you, to work with Palestinian dancer and choreographer Saed Mansour in an all-levels exploratory movement practice called Dancing the Political. Saed's work is powerfully transformative, and as we leave Libra season and head into Scorpio's time, we'll be working with a Mercury retrograde and some big influences in the water element that really need us to look and feel deeply at the stories we're carrying that keep us locked in points of view where we cannot see beyond our own perspective. This practice and process is designed to bring you into the deepest heart of embodied interconnection, assisting you to claim your truth and experience while also expanding your felt sense awareness of what else is possible and present. I can't overstate how important it feels to me to be doing this kind of work at this time on Earth. So if you're a person who knows that change begins with you and you're committed to working for love, liberation, peace, and justice in the world, I hope you'll join us for this truly unique and special opportunity. If you're interested but unsure if you want to commit to the full series, join us for the intro session on October 19th when you can meet Saed and get a taste of the practice. If you know that this work is calling you, or if you feel compelled to join after the intro, we're hosting a 4-session series between November 17th and December 7th that will change your life in wonderful ways. For more information, check the link in the show notes or head to embodiedastrology.com, where you can find Dancing the Political under the Events tab, along with information about everything else I just mentioned and a lot more. Lastly, if this work benefits you and you want to help me keep giving these monthly readings for free, please consider signing up for a recurring monthly donation. If every one of our listeners gave just $1 a month, we would cover 100% of our operating expenses and have funds freed up to offer you even more. Other great ways to support this work are to follow, subscribe, like, comment, sign up for our free newsletter, and send a horoscope to a friend. All right, thank you so much for sticking with me for these announcements. I am so happy to be part of your life and Libra season. I am wishing you all the best in this season and beyond.